and in this video I will be building Victor Chevalier's knives from Tekken 8. Checking the drill press, I found out that it's only capable of drilling with 16mm drill bits max, which hasn't stopped me from using 20mm drill bits in the past, but since I would need at least 26mm for this, and I don't think I can violate the drill press that much, we will just have to do it with good old manual labor. God, I hate manual labor. And this is now where things get complicated. You see, the weird thing with this knife is that the tang is for whatever reason thinner than the blade at its thickest point. Now, except for maybe milling it, there isn't really a good way to get an entire surface down. I will try to carve lines down the length of the tang with the edge of the belt sander, and hopefully then get everything down to one uniform height. For that exact reason, I have already marked 2 lines around the tang, and the idea with the belt sander is that I at least have a more or less uniform depth along this direction. Because at the end I need to put handle scales on there, and if I can't get the surface flat again, they won't really fit.
As you can see, this is neither fast nor reliable, but is the only idea I currently have on how to do this.
Now the only positive thing about these blades with not a single straight plane about them is probably that you don't need any rigs to get the grind done. This should be good enough for now for this weird blade shape. Now just to do the other side. Not great. I don't like that the tips are bumping into the ground of the bucket. I am shocked how fast that was. I guess after all the proof will be in the pudding if those are any hard, but we will see that after tempering. Well, there is plenty of information on how to harden C45. I couldn't find anything on how to temper it. So if you know the temperatures for that, I don't know, travel back in time and tell me right now. Since nobody showed up, I decided to just do it with 180 degrees Celsius for 1 hour, just like you would do 80 CRV2, because those two knives are 80 CRV2. They used to be the blank for this blade, but it got too small, so I cut it in half and made two smaller knives out of it. With both blades now cleaned up, the next step are the handles, and for this one the handle material is carbon fiber.
I'm probably not very sharp right now. I just wanted to mention wearing gloves on a belt sander goes against everything I believe in. I'm also probably super big right now. Woo!
Earlier today I squinted at the in-game model of this knife to figure out all the weird indentations on the handle, which will be made from a piece of aluminum. And during that I've noticed something rather upsetting. As it turns out, this cutout here doesn't actually exist on the knife. It's thing where those lazy game developers just constantly had his hand clip through the blade so it looked like this. The interesting thing is the hand clips through the blade there, or through the knife, basically all the time, just at different angles, so you couldn't really have noticed until you started tracing out these little lumps and bumps and noticed that some of the distances aren't really making any sense and keep changing. Now, another concern is that for how awkward this handle shape is, it probably would have been better with this cutout, because since his hand is constantly clipping through there, I'd assume that it's where your hand would be. But I'm not really authorized to make changes like that, even though I personally think it looks better. I think that the best choice to cover up this mistake, since welding is out of the question, I can't add stuff back on the blade, that I will simply change my little handle scale template, add this piece in here, and then once you look at the blade from the sides, it will look perfectly fine. You would only notice it looking at the back of the blade. There's some piece missing. That there is some piece missing. But due to the nature of how you hold this blade and how he holds this blade, you will never see that particular place of the blade. I'm trying to think if I have anything more to say. I'm just very upset with all of this. And now that both of the handle scales are shaped, I am using this template up here. I am removing all these markings one by one to transfer them to the handle scales and file them down one by one. As you can see, we now have this strange surface. I still don't know yet how I will finish this in the end, because it can't stay like that with all the file marks, but we will see. Ever since I transformed an old tool shed into my first workshop, I wanted to use these bolts that were lying around in one of the drawers, let's call it. Because, you know, this is the type of screw you see everywhere, and up until now I never had any use for those, but finally I can use them for one of the knives. I feel like I want something to soften the blows, and not that it ruins the carbon fiber. When in doubt, use a bigger hammer. I'm afraid it's softening the blows a bit too much. When in doubt, use a bigger hammer.